In the rapidly changing landscape of technology, there are those who can foresee the future. Today, we explore the electric vehicle revolution, referencing the predictions of a visionary thinker named Tony Seba, who utilized the S-curve to predict the future. We're less than a decade away from the majority of these cars turning to electric technology. Today, we're talking about innovation and disruptive technologies. People tend to guess the adoption of disruptive technologies wrong, and we've heard it before. I'll never switch, or the infrastructure isn't there. Don't ever disrespect me talking about things you don't know about. Let me just break this down for you right now.
Bing bong.
We've seen similar things like this happen in the past, but the adoption of electric cars is going to be an S-curve like none other. Introducing Tony Seba, an MIT graduate, entrepreneur, futurist. He's left an incredible mark in predicting technological shifts. His insights have become a roadmap to understanding how industries transform over time. In 2016, he boldly declared that EVs would outsell gasoline vehicles by 2030. While the precise timing can be debated, the undeniable surge in the adoption of EV speaks volumes about the underlying truths about his prediction. Tony's insights, his predictions, have had tangible impacts to the industry. It's played a significant role in shaping the investments, resource allocations, accelerating development and adoption of EVs. He's seen it coming, all by following a pattern called S-curve, which keeps playing out within reality. So let's talk about what is the S-curve. Because as new technologies introduce, it does take a while for things to shift. For example, in the 1800s, it was quite commonplace to transport via animal, horses. You gave your horse water, you gave your horse grass, hay, give it some love. That horse would take you everywhere for miles. It was the most common means of transportation en masse by far. Within urban centers, and this is how everything was running. And in these early days, people started to build infrastructure for internal combustion. These were the innovators of that time. We also had electric vehicles introduced. Home charging was a thing at that time. In the turn of the century, the shift was starting slowly to happen. A lot like what's happening today with electric versus internal combustion engines. Then people were saying, why would you even give in your horse for an internal combustion car? You just give your horse water, it goes. But people kept on building the infrastructure. There was more gas stations and it became more feasible for your everyday person. And that really was a driver, and it really did spark a shift. The more infrastructure that was available for the public, the more it enabled people to drive a car. Instead of refueling a horse with water and grass, be able to refuel their car and go further distances even faster. Within almost a span of 20 years, you could barely find a horse on the road.
What?
Like, actually.
Huh.
Almost everybody had a Model T. It was commonplace. That S-curve adoption was, in effect, phased out of utilizing an animal for transportation and a phase in of internal combustion, gasoline-powered motor vehicles was in effect. And this adoption happened fast because the public infrastructure was there for your regular person to stop, refuel, and continue their journey. When introducing a new technology to the world, it's going to take a little while for it to catch on. You're going to have your innovators and your early adopters, but for the mainstream, like airships were commercially used in the 1700s, but when commercial aviation was introduced, it was, well, let's say for an oversimplification of a lot of reasons, there was a mass shift to the adoption of commercial aviation, and it became significantly less scary for people to get in a plane and fly.
ANITA Max WYNN
Even has its own airplane, and that is what S-curve adoption is. It is the mass adoption of a new technology. Now let's have a conversation regarding the digitalization of vehicles and the cost of batteries. Well over 100 and something years later, we've gone from animal transportation to mechanical transportation to now digital transportation. Things are getting very interesting, my friends. Cars are essentially cell phones with wheels. We have a battery pack with multiple operating systems that take us to and fro now. I charge my car overnight like my cell phone, or I do a quick charge on the road. If it's me versus you, I'm in a Cybertruck versus 911. I can pull a 911 and still beat it. And in a few years, that Cybertruck will be out of date. This is cool. Things are only continue to improve and get better with time. Cars are going to charge faster. They're going to drive further. And in a few years, they're going to be at price parity and the price will just get lower, which means that they'll be attainable, affordable, and for so many reasons, as in lower cost of ownership and operation, everybody's going to be grabbing them. And they're faster, they're better cars. For every dollar worth of gasoline that you put in your tank, about 20 cents goes towards motion and 80 cents goes out the tailpipe. When it comes to a battery electric vehicle, 90 cents goes towards motion. And it's not just the cost of ownership efficiencies that's going to lead to mass adoption. It's the actual fact that new EVs are going further than ever. The cost of them are going lower than ever. It means that we're already off to the races, and internal combustion engines are a lot like the horses of the 1900s. Absolutely phased out as we embrace a digital future.